Well, because my writing is not planned, it takes me longer to figure out what the story is. Now, She's Come Undone, my first book, the Song of Dolores, yes, in France, that book took me about 9 years to write. But I was also teaching full-time back then, and so I was balancing the writing. I was getting up early on weekends and writing, 4 a.m. to about noon, and then I'd go home and be dad and mow the lawn and that kind of thing, and then also those student papers, big piles of papers. So that took 9 years. My second book, La Puissance des Vaincus, I think, yes. That book took about 6 years to write, and but I was, our children were young, my parents were declining, needed me a lot, and so forth. So, yeah, my life always intrudes on. Well, that's true of everybody, but yeah, those were complicated years. My third book, The Hour I First Believed, was the most that took the longest to write. That took about 9.5 years to write, and part of that was part of the reason was the success that the earlier books had had. I became fearful of writing, any new novel, because I didn't want to disappoint all these readers I suddenly had because of, largely because of the, Oprah Winfrey endorsements of my novels. Now that's a wonderful thing when that happens, but it can also be intimidating. And so I struggled a lot. It took me about 2 years to actually find the story, even though I worked at it every day. I kept throwing out what I had, and it was, I felt very insecure, and I felt, I kept telling myself, oh, now they're going to know that I'm just a phony who got lucky, But then the story began to take hold. But it was difficult all throughout, and partly, part of that difficulty was fear-based. I had a 5-year deadline, and I think I finished it in about 4.5 years. So the first time I made my deadline, HarperCollins, my American publisher, was very happy with me.